What's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream. All right, not sure what I want to work on. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just check out main. I think we also have another branch I could check out. I want to see if people are pushing stuff to this branch. Oops. I'm just going to make a pull request for this one, and I will just put don't merge on it. And then I'm going to grab main. Oh, my screen's frozen. Yeah, I don't know why my screen literally keeps freezing. Every time I try to load up OBS, it's like, gotta swap it back. Why is everyone moving from Next.js to TanStack? I know there's been a lot of issues with Next.js over the years, like random security vulnerabilities that didn't affect TanStack Start because they don't use React Server components. I think TanStack Start's a much easier onboarding experience. A lot of people just hate the fact that Next.js is owned by a company like Vercel versus TanStack Start's like legit open source, maintained by Tanner and a couple of other people. What's up, Leon? We're working on Automaker today. Welcome to the stream. By the way, guys, go check out Leon. Go give him a follow. No, Super Combo. I didn't work on that prototype yet. I was trying to get my thing into a good state, but I might put it on hold. I mean, maybe we can work on that today during the stream. It's just like a lot of things I want to actually like changing up the UI is might be beneficial. But I feel like there's so many people every day who come in and say they can't run the app and it like breaks for them or something, you know? One thing I do want to fix though is the onboarding. Like right now, when you start a new project, it just like shows you the whole conv on board, and it's just like it doesn't really help you onboard very well. So what I'm going to do is try to work on the onboarding experience a little bit. And let's see if I can go to the server settings, and we're going to clear out my settings real quick. I'm going to start fresh. So inside of app server, you can go to data and just delete settings. And now it'll kick you back and make you walk through the whole process again. So we're going to go here, pick a cool theme, make sure all my CLI providers get authenticated. Seems like it's good. Okay. Oh, you know what? It pulled from, there's a migration script that kind of runs. So if you're running Automaker for the first time from like a previous version, it actually pulls over a lot of your settings that were once stored in local storage, and it puts it in the server. I'm trying to consolidate all the settings in the server so that if you were to load up Electron or web app or be on a different computer, all your settings are persisted on the API you're connecting to. Because if you think about it, the API has the state of all the projects that you're working on. So I do need to clear this out first, and then I have to go and clear that out. There might be some other things that I clear out too, but I think that's good. Okay, this right here, this is the onboarding experience. Like it first loads and it shows you this. I would like to be a dashboard that basically shows just this. But then when you click into a project, that's when the side navigation kind of shows up. Because all this stuff, when you first load the app, this is not really important for a first-time user. Just like helping them get a better onboarding experience, I think would be better. So I'm going to try doing that. And what I found is sometimes with AI, like you can just rapidly prototype stuff. Try it out. If you don't like it, you just throw away the branch, right? It doesn't take you too much time to like prototype. I want to improve the onboarding experience when someone first loads up Automaker for the first time and finishes the setup wizard. I want you to show them a page that asks them, are they creating a new project or are they going to open an existing project and reuse the existing components and functionality we have in the app for this initial setup where if they have no projects in their app, this is the page they'd see. But if they do select an application and they do set up a projects array, next time they load, they should see a screen that shows all their projects in cards. They can click into them. They can favorite which projects they want to pin at the top of that page. And the dashboard page should not show the left side navigation bar. It should just show the Automaker logo on the top left with the version number. And then it should maybe just show the projects that they have. But when they click into a project, that's when it should show the side navigation bar. So I'm going to do that. And I could probably take a screenshot of another example. Let me just kick this one off real quick. I'll just see how this does actually. We'll see how that one does. Do you plan to exit software dev? No. I don't think software dev is going anywhere just yet. But I do think the people who are leveraging these tools to write code faster are going to have an advantage, and they'll probably stick around for a little bit longer. Hey bro, do you have any courses on AI? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I do have one. I don't have any PPP set up yet, so it might be expensive depending on where you're living. Let's see, what kind of agents do you most often, what kind of agents do you use most often? How much do you pay for these agents? Is it really worth it? Absolutely. I mean, Opus 4.5 and GPT 5.2, like Codex they're very good. Like they can one-shot many features and do like complete refactorings. And then I use Composer 1 for like smaller things, like quick tasks I just want to ask questions to because it's super fast. I hear GLM 4.7 is fast too. I haven't used it yet though. And then Gemini 3 I use for UI related changes. Like if I want to redesign a UI or try to make it look a little bit nicer, I'd use Gemini 3.0. Hey, this might be off topic, but what do you think of auth? Like Better Auth uses the admin plugin, but it's into code and it's not the DB base where admin can create users and assign roles. I mean, I use Better Auth on my projects now. You can customize it. So like even for my Agentic Jumpstart course, I have a flag in the user table called is admin or not. Technically, I could have called it role, but I have it called is admin true or false. And if I set it to true, then I can be an admin. So, I mean, I think Better Auth you can easily customize. Sub Dante, do you use sub agents or skills in your workflow lately? Like when working on Automaker? I use sub agents all the time. Like I'll kick off a bunch of sub agents to go explore something and then come back and fix it or debug it. Skills, not so much. Yeah, I don't have any skills in this project. The UI skill I don't find useful now because the project's already there. Like we have a theme, we have a setting. There's no need to have a UI UX skill. For code reviews, though, I mean, it might be useful to have one, but I've seen that the code that it writes for the most part is decent. I could probably try to add in more skills, but... Basically, Automaker is a way to manage different agents and sub-agents at the same time. It's a way to manage different projects at the same time, and you can create different tasks and have those be ran by agents. It's like an orchestrator is the name for it these days. Like there's a ton of tools like this. There's Vibe Kanban. There's a lot of other ones out there. And there's like a new one popping up every day. It's just like an orchestration tool. So instead of you having to go and like prompt in a terminal, which is great for a lot of developers, but for like beginners and non-developers, this is not a good user experience, I don't think. Like it's just too much. So having a way to actually have like a Kanban board, I think is a better user experience. Do we hate Claude for what they just did? I don't care, honestly. Is their choice. If they want to make people use their Claude CLI tool, I mean, that's their choice. So I think it'd be nice if they didn't do that. Like the terms of service should let them use your OAuth token. But I think a lot of people are saying that the whole like subscription is actually like a loss leader. Like they're losing a ton of money by letting you have Claude code access for $200 a month. In reality, I think this is going to jump up to a lot more expensive token usage in the future when they actually want to make profit and they don't want to just like get everyone on board. I think that's what a lot of these startups do is they'll give out a bunch of stuff for free because they're just running off of like investor money and seed money. And so marketing is the most important thing, get to the top of the market. And then they start slowly changing pricing and then everyone gets mad and leaves and, you know. But what do you think about Anthropic's blocking of OAuth for third-party clients like OpenCode? Since I'm OpenCode, you can use Anthropic subscription. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with it. But at the same time, I don't look at their business spreadsheets and see how much money they're losing every month from people basically running these tools in Automaker and running them in Ralph. Like when you start giving out like a subscription base with X amount of limits, you kind of analyze how much tokens people are using every month, and then you can change your pricing schema around that. But it seems like overnight, Ralph kind of blew up in popularity and all these autonomous tools are blowing up, which means that now their Claude Code subscriptions are probably getting maxed out to the limit every day by people just like building and building and building. And so they're going to have to reevaluate, how much they're charging and how much they're making off of people because they're probably burning through a ton of money, honestly. I think Jamie from Convex on X mentioned that he could see these prices going up to $1,000 a month on like a Claude Code subscription. And people would still pay for it, right? Because there's a huge productivity gain from using these tools. And most employers, if they're serious, they'll probably front the cost of that and give their developers a Claude Code subscription. But I'm guessing that's going to be off, like a couple of years off, maybe. But it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what will happen in the future, you know? All these models could get super cheap over time. Stuff like GLM 4.7 could become better than Claude Code or Opus 4.5. We never know, right?
An agent finished their work on enhanced onboarding experience.
Okay, so this is what I was refactoring. So when you first load up Automaker and you don't have any projects, it was kind of a lot last time. You see like a sidebar, you see all this stuff that's not really relevant to what the user should first see. And so a better onboarding experience is just give them two options. Hey, are you creating a new project? Or are you opening a project, right? And now let's see what settings does. Settings takes you to the settings page. I don't know if I want that. It's fine. Okay, so in this case, we could browse our folders. We could go to Workspace. I could go and load up Agentic Jumpstart. And now we have that project. And if you go back to the dashboard, which I don't know how you can even get back to the dashboard. I think I might make the logo go back to the dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and just like take a screenshot of this. Can you make the top left logo on the board route navigate back to the user's dashboard? Okay, what else can I play around with? I spent a lot of time last night refactoring the UI to like make it less overwhelming. Is that the right term for it? There's a lot going on here, and I think there are ways we could probably improve this. Like I was spending some time moving.
An agent finished their work on onboarding project selection interface.
All right, let's click on this and see. Yeah, we go back to the dashboard now. We can also try pinning. Let's open a new project here. Workspace. What other projects do I have to see? Automaker marketing, we can open up. Go back to the dashboard. I have too many projects. Auto Clipper. I thought I had one called a Rapid Cut. I think I put that in. I think it's in here. Rapid Cut. Here it is. Okay, so now we have a bunch of different projects here, and I can pin them. Okay, so looks like pinning them did not persist them, so I got to fix that. Now I'm going to keep it in the same context window so it can still keep track of the things I just added. Sometimes I'll make a new context window if it's a completely irrelevant thing, but we are hitting like 47 context windows, so that's probably a good sign of like we're hitting the max limits of it. Auto compacting might work fine though. When I favorite a project and refresh the page, it doesn't seem like the favorites are being persisted anywhere. Can you verify that those are being persisted inside the settings, inside the global settings of the projects? Sorry, of the API layer, like we do all the other settings, and make sure that's loaded when we go to the user's dashboard, so we can actually like figure out which ones have been favorited. By the way, if you guys enjoy some of the tips and tricks I'm showing you in the stream, go check out agenticjumpstart.com. This is my course. I have over 82 videos, 12.5 hours of content teaching Claude Code, Cursor, how to do agentic coding. We build out a full stack web application using TanStack Start, Drizzle. We get it all deployed out the railway. And I also have a bunch of random things that I'm publishing as I learn more about AI, because it is a rapidly evolving industry at this point. So go check that out if you guys are interested. I'll put the link in the chat. I know you guys hate when I plug my stuff, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've seen your... Oh, yeah, I saw AI King. I appreciate the shout out from AI King. What do you recommend, Claude or ChatGPT subscription? Claude all the way. I would pick Claude. I'd pick Anthropic's subscription. I like Codex. Codex is also a really good thing, and I don't think it gets as much publicity as it should. Like GPT 5.2 Codex is an actual really good model, and I've used it many times to debug things that Claude Opus cannot figure out. Like, I think Opus 4.5 gets a lot of hype, but for those really complex bugs, like, it just can't do it. I've sit here and tried to reprompt Opus 5 or 6 different times.
Finished their work on favorite projects persistence verification.
I've new context windows. I've tried tagging different contexts, and it still cannot fix the bug. And then I'll basically just summarize the bug. I'll give it over to 5.2. It fixes it the first try. And this has happened multiple times. I just think that Opus works a little bit faster. It's a faster iteration speed. And that's why I kind of think it is like the best blend of the models. GPT-5 just takes so long. It just sits there and thinks forever and ever. Let's see. Have I tried OpenCode? I do have, I tried OpenCode a couple days ago. I have it actually set up with Automaker, so you can actually use Automaker with OpenCode. Do these models excel at other programming languages such as Go and Rust? I have gotten comments on my channel saying that people have built out complete Rust projects using these models. I haven't personally tried it on a large Rust project or Go project, but I would think that these models do pretty fine with them. Go is a very simple language, and I think these models could probably knock it out of the box. Rust is a little bit more complex. But yeah, I think these models are reaching a point where it's like, when you start actually trying them out, the code they write is pretty good. Have I tried OpenCode? Yep. Let's see, how much... Oh, hold on a second. Let me check something. Any suggestions? Wait, someone asked... Okay, any suggestions on hosting providers for side projects? Do you use something like Dogply, Coolify? I use Railway. I like Railway a lot. I just have all my projects hosted in Railway. Everything's containerized. It's very nice. At work, are you actually allowed to use AI for writing code? Yeah. What? But what if later you want to have different admin user types and you want to create them? Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a hard question to answer on a stream, honestly. I need more context. You want to have different admin user types. You want to create them from the admin UI. I haven't used the whatever admin UI you're talking about. Honestly, I would make a user interface with like a super admin role, and the super admin can go and find users, and they can assign different roles to those users, such as like a sub admin or an admin. I would just make it all role based. But if you need fine-grained permissions, you can kind of figure out like an auth table, so you can actually attach individual permissions to users. That's a whole nother complex thing that you might have to... I would avoid that. I would just do role-based authorization if you can. I follow you since I started coding 4 years ago. You're the best. Thank you. Really hope we meet someday. I am from Paris. LOL. I might jump on Agentic Jumpstart soon. Yeah, I'm glad my stuff helps. I think I found a bug or maybe a feature in your course, which I'd like to share with you. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to share with others. You could just write it here. It's fine. Or you can message me on Discord. If it's like a security thing, like let me know. Like don't publish that there. But if it's like a little bug, you can just do it. I could probably kick it off in Automaker right now and fix it, right? Bring down the round edges. Those can be really distracting. Okay. GLM 4.7 is actually really good, and for $30 for 6x more tokens than Claude Max is insane. Using Claude Code on Pro within a monorepo. Forge about it. So when people say they use GLM 4.7, what tool, because GLM is the model, what tool are you guys using? Are you using OpenCode? Are you using Z.AI? How would you approach creating an admin user apart from the sign-up flow in Better Auth? How would you approach creating an admin user? Yeah, it's going to be really hard for me to help you over a stream on this type of stuff. Like, I would say join my Discord and try to ask for help there. But I'm really trying to focus on, Automaker on this stream. I would just do a custom... anything you're asking, I would probably just make a custom user interface for it, honestly. And then if you need to assign one person to be the super admin, just go into your database and give them that role. Or when they first sign up, you can give them that role. Opus 4.5 at a 5-hour on METR benchmark is crazy, and I feel it. I'm sure you have been asked a lot, but what is that software that the text? It's Super Whisper. Can you explain the extent Automaker is using MCP servers? Are you using it for knowledge-based context and project planning? I don't think we actually use internally much MCP servers in Automaker. I do believe I have, if I go to settings over here, I think we have, at one point I had Context 7 set up so it can go reach out to the internet, but I don't really use that many MCP servers. And internally, everything on Automaker is literally file-based. So there's a .automaker folder in the project that you're working on, and everything is here. So memory is here, the context is here. And so it knows to just go and look into the directories and find stuff by name. There's also, I think, a context metadata. Let's see. Yeah, so there's this context metadata file, which has a short description about what the thing is for. Like, what is this image for? What is this screenshot of? And then when the LM is running, it goes and it reads that little snippet of description. And then it can go and further read in that screenshot, or it can read in an MD file if it needs that. So it's kind of like, what's it called? Progressive disclosure? Is that what it's called? There's also a memory system that Super Combo added. I don't know if I have it on this branch. I haven't kicked off any work, so that's probably why. All right. What's up from Indonesia? How's it going? Does Automaker use a similar process to the Ralph Wiggum approach, creating a PRD, converting it to JSON, having a fresh instance of Claude handle each token? Yeah, exactly. That's how it kind of works. Automaker was all started because I used the Anthropic harness. The Ralph plugin has been around for a long time. I think like 6 months ago someone mentioned. I didn't even know about it, right? I don't think anyone knew about it. But I saw a video from someone making a video about the Anthropic autonomous runner, which is literally the same as Ralph. It's just like, creates a bunch of features and goes through them. I use GLM 4.7 in Claude Code. It's very good. Okay. The Agentic analyzer in your marketplace is amazing. Oh, nice. Automaker is the NA for Agentic developers. To answer your questions about GLM integration, it can integrate into VS Code, CLI, Claude CLI, Cursor, and normally use it with Claude CLI. How do you guys use it with Claude CLI? Like, you have to basically overwrite your models, right? Like, if I use GLM 4.7 in Claude Code, could I also switch to use Opus 4.5 at times, or Haiku? Or am I just stuck with everything using GLM 4.7? The last time I looked into it, it looked kind of hacky. Like, you have to like overwrite what the models actually point to under the hood. Is that true? Or like, if I install GLM 4.7, if I go to Claude Code and type in /model, does it list out GLM as like a fourth option or something? I just haven't looked into it. I mean, I would ask, have you asked AI to help you out? Satyam? Like, definitely give AI your code base. You can replace one model of the 3. Yeah, I mean, that's a terrible developer experience. Not trying to be mean, but the fact that I can't just add in an additional model to Claude Code, it feels very hacky. I'd rather just use open code, but you have to override a model. I don't know if the people making Claude Code CLI, like, I don't think they really think about developer experience, honestly. They're really trying to lock you down into like whatever they have. Anyway, let's look at some other things we can do here to improve the onboarding experience. So let's make sure this works. This looks good. I think there was a way. Honestly, I don't like how we have new and open here in the recycling bin. It just feels like you should just go back to the dashboard if you want to open a new project. What do you guys think? Like typically when I'm on a project, there's no need for me to go and create a new one. Like that's a very like, just go back to the dashboard page if you need to do that. So I might move all this, even the recycling bin, like this is not very important. We could actually kind of hide that off into settings or something. Or even move the recycling. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So instead of like deleting the project from this drop down here, I'm actually going to do it over here. Now in this case, I am going to just look at, I'm going to add all these real quick. We have a dashboard view. This is where I actually kick off a new, and just go here. Can you add a drop down to the cards where I can remove a project from Automaker from the dashboard? Maybe just add a trash icon and then a confirmation dialog explaining that it doesn't actually delete it from your directory. It's just going to remove it from your projects list in Automaker. I'll kick that one off. This one, I don't think I need. I'm gonna go ahead and just clear that. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so what else can we do here? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this whole thing, but I don't want it to. I don't remember what component has that stuff. Is it a sidebar? I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Is the sidebar where I have the create and open new project buttons in the recycling bin button? Honestly, it's faster to ask AI than the dive through code at this point. Like that's a situation we're in now. Yes. Okay. So I'm at the right file. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this one out. Oh, I just shouldn't have done that. Let's go ahead and do this. Go ahead and drag this one in. Can you actually just remove this whole row? I want to move the new and the open. It's already in the dashboard. So a user should go back to the dashboard if they want to actually create a new project or open a new project. And then the recycling bin, move that whole functionality to the dashboard as well. I don't think that needs to be displayed on the sidebar at all times. Like it's not important for the intent of working on a project. Now, something I did on another branch was the ability to toggle away this whole bar. A lot of people don't use work trees, and having this whole bar take up real estate is just not, it's not a good user experience in my opinion. So I'm actually gonna take a screenshot of this. I'll probably make a new. And then I need to find out what component that has. I think it's like called the GitHub.
An agent finished their work on data training cutoff date.
Yes, this is the one. Can you remove this toggle button instead? Put it at the top in the combat
on project removal drop-down feature.
Okay. Can you remove this toggle button and instead put it in the top header next to like the auto mode concurrent slider on the left? And I want you to just hide the entire row with a toggle button that is called work trees. So the text inside the button should say work trees. If you click it, the entire row should just collapse. So I can't see the branch of the work trees. This should be enabled by default when you first load it, but persist the settings that the user decides to choose for the project in the project's options settings. Okay, so those are all gone now. Let's go back to the main here. I can go and I can delete, remove from Automaker. We got a confirmation. Are you sure you want to remove Automaker marketing from Automaker? This will only remove the project from your Automaker projects list. The project list on your computer will not be deleted. I am going to wait before I run that. I want to see. Which one did I remove the recycling from? Okay, that one's a toggle button. This one was clicking remove from Automaker opens a dialog. Okay, added import some more vertical trash. Also on the dashboard, can you add a button so I can view all of the projects I have quote unquote removed? So I can then just completely remove them from Automaker. Honestly, I don't know why we need a track. I don't know why we need that, honestly. You remove it once, like why do we need a staging area? I just don't think that makes sense. I think this is good. Clear history. There's a little bug with that modal popping up. Sandbox environment not detected. I have like literally confirmed this multiple times. I gotta figure out why this thing is. A very strange bug with that one. Yo, what's running right now? I don't know if I want to debug that right now. Just let this one finish up. I think I have a good, decent amount of work I could get to the 10 version 0.0 to 0.10 branch. Claude Walled Garden is the goal, I'm sure. Yeah, but I mean, they better make sure their models are like top tier because right now there's other models coming out that are kind of on par with Opus 4.5. They're like good enough. And so it's like a lot of developers will choose to use something like GLM or use GPT 5.2 over Opus just because they're good enough, right? So having a walled off garden, I don't think is the right choice, but I do think they're just trying to like not burn through so much money with everyone using their OAuth tokens everywhere. If you're working on a proper project, to what extent would you manually code review changes made? It seems using Automaker, you can make so many changes over a short period of time. Yeah, I mean, on a proper project, we would do legit code review. So you and your team have to review the code and a pull request, and then you'd have probably AI set up to do automatic code reviews as well. So you have a second layer. Maybe you can even have 2 or 3 different AI reviewing bots that try to find stuff that's wrong. And then also, before you even commit it, like kind of like I talk about in my course, like I go through all these on a legit project. I would go through all these one by one and just do a spot check to make sure there's nothing like super obviously wrong. If it's like a front end change, I don't really care. Like front end code has been commoditized basically at this point. There are some things you can kind of worry about with like, you know, improper use of hooks or like performance issues with front end code. But I would probably focus more on the backend code. Like when you're storing any type of things on the backend or making API requests, I would be very cautious about looking at that stuff. Make sure authentication is set up. Make sure there's not doing some super terrible SQL query that's going to bring down your database. But for a lot of this React stuff, I don't know. I reached the point where it's like, it just feels like tedious boilerplate. Like, yeah, is this file a little bit large? 872 files? Yeah, it's pretty big. I mean, lines, it's a large file. We could probably break this down into smaller components. And doing that actually helps the LLM work faster because it's not using all these tokens. Because it usually has to grepo your files and grab the files and then look through them and find the context. It uses less tokens if you can split your stuff into smaller files and name them well. But yeah, on a real project, I'd probably do a lot more thorough code reviews. I am kind of surprised this one prompt is taking so long. I need to update the project settings loader to also load the worktree panel invisible setting. Like, this was literally like a pretty simple request. Okay, it's a toggle. That's okay. It's working. I think my server just keeps restarting. This thing is just, it's so annoying. Why is this not persisting? I'm gonna stash this one up. Can you spin off 5 sub-agents to go and do a deep dive analysis on my codebase to figure out why sometimes when my backend server is live reloading, the UI shows this modal, and I have selected do not show again many times, but it seems like those settings are not properly persisted to the backend. Can you check if maybe this is an issue or race condition with loading the settings that aren't necessarily available or something, or just if this is not being persisted properly when we check the checkbox in this dialog and click confirm. Now, I don't want to kick this one off yet. I'm just kind of staging it up because I want this one to finish so I can add it and then get the stuff committed to that branch. I don't speak Norwegian. No, I don't speak Norwegian.
An agent finished the work on.
Work on what? Don't keep me hanging over there. What did you finish the work on? All right, so this is the new approach that I changed. I think not having this thing always displayed. Some people don't care about work trees. Some people don't care about what branch they're on. So I think just toggling it off, better user experience. Another thing is I want to try to figure out if I could maybe, you know, we've done enough changes. Let me just add all these things. And then we're going to get this to that branch so that I don't have too big of changes going on. New project, quick setup, interactive mode. You know, interactive mode, I don't know if anyone even uses this. I haven't even tried this. I have not tested this out, but I don't think having it be on this page is even a good approach. That's something else we could try to fix. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is pretty good. Let me check Discord real quick. All right, sorry, I'm just looking at Discord. So I'm gonna go ahead and commit these, whatever. Now, typically I would make a pull request. At this point, we're just kind of putting all the latest features and updates on the version 10.0 RC branch. And then we have a pull request out there for this branch. So all the core contributors are pushing to this, sometimes directly. And then at some point, we'll get this all stuff merged into main. And the reason we're doing this on this project, some people, you know, work differently. The reason we're doing this is because we want to just spend time like doing a cutoff, and then we go and everyone tests this branch to make sure it seems like it's good. There's no outstanding bugs. And then we merge that into main and I'll tag a release, because I don't want to just keep merging stuff in the main at this point. Like, people are actually using this, and I don't want someone to grab main and have broken code. So we're kind of doing like the staging branch type of thing. Seems to work. All right, let's go back to Automaker. Let's go to Agentic Jumpstart. There are some things I want to just readdress in terms of the user experience. Planning, is this even necessary? Now, what I don't like, if I have my head, we have add feature at the top right. One good user experience I would recommend is co-locate buttons to what they're actually related to. Like when we add a feature, what does it go into? It goes into the backlog. The only place you can add a new feature into is the backlog. So why wouldn't this button just exist either in the backlog header, or we could have some type of like floating button over here that's always displayed at the bottom of the backlog. So I may prototype with that and just kind of get a feel for how it kind of works. And then also, I don't know if I want to kick this one off. I feel like this is going to be a pain to debug on a live stream. Can you remove the new feature button from the header, and instead I want you to add a little new feature button to the top header of the backlog column, and then also add at the very bottom a floating button so that when I scroll the backlog, it's always displayed at the very bottom of that column. They can click it to also add a feature. Is there any possibility for each task to be completed on its own branch? Yeah, Automaker has work trees. Like you could just turn work trees on, and then you can double click on a feature, and then you can say, I want this to be auto work tree. So you can click this on and then click save, and then that'll also kick off, that'll create the task on a work tree. And then you can create a pull request from that work tree directly in Automaker. What's the confirmation voice you're using? The weird dark voice? It's just a German voice. I have a hook. So if you go to Claude Code, there's a hook I use called Hans, which uses 11 labs to analyze the feature you just finished. So like what was your original prompt? And when it's done, it passes that prompt to GPT-4o Mini to summarize it in a short little concise sentence. And then I pass that to Open 11 Labs to generate text to voice with that German accent, and then it plays it. This is just a hook. So if I go to my settings, I have a hook, stop, and then I have the Hans play that script. Oh, and then my 11 Labs credentials and my OpenAI credentials are right here. So that I can actually do that. I find it useful. Like it describes to me what exactly just finished, so I can kind of go back and review that. Just for fun, you should make the view of tasks being done with your zombie game assets so it'll look like a base with characters doing stuff. Yeah, I've seen some people post some screenshots of like trying to make this whole agentic coding thing into a game. Like you can skin it to be like a game, like a RPG type of game where every agent can level up and gain experience as it's doing things. It seems kind of cute, but it's like, I don't think realistically, what's the purpose of it, I guess, you know? I have never used Claude Desktop. I'm sure it's good. There's also a Claude Web you can use. Why is using Automaker so much more expensive than using VS Code Claude? I mean, Automaker is free. And I don't use API keys. I use my subscription, so I don't know. For you, what's the best way to split large code files into smaller components? Like, for example, you mentioned, and do you use Claude to do that? You can use Claude. It's just a little slow. I typically use Composer 1 for that type of work because it can just like go through all the files and quickly split it up. But I mean, I think Opus 4.5, if you want to make sure that you don't break anything, is probably also a good approach to refactor code and split it up. Or you can make like a slash command in Claude Code, or some type of skill that automatically runs when you write UI code, so it knows like if it's over 500 lines of code. Like try to figure out a way to split it up into smaller subcomponents. Thanks, Dante. I saw your DM. I will fix that after the stream. So Leon says, Cody, when you ask the main agent to kick off sub-agents, which I believe will fire off explore agents, which uses a haiku, you're better off creating custom deep dive agents than that use Opus or Sonnet. Yeah, I actually do have a deep dive agent. Super Combo Gamer showed me a cool prompt. I do believe that they're Opus. Let me just double check real quick.
An agent finished their work on new feature button placement.
New feature button placement. Okay, let's go back to the UI and just check that. Okay, so we have a plus button here. Nice. We have an add feature button down here. Nice. Now my question is, do I want to make those primary colors? They're not very apparent. I might change them to primary colors. Now, a little technique I like to do is after the thing finishes and does what you asked it to do, I usually say, this is great. So it knows not to go back and break what it just did. Sometimes I've seen Opus go back and like change the stuff it literally just did on the last prompt. It'll like remove things. So I don't know. Maybe it's just something stupid that I do in, but I think it is useful. Can you now change the buttons to be primary colored based on the theme? Yeah, so Leon asked something about the agents. I think I have... Yeah, deep dive is Opus, deep code is Opus as well. So I do have some custom agents here. Like this is the Claude Code experience right here. You see this like flickering? This is the Claude Code CLI experience. And they're using Claude Code to build Claude Code CLI, and this is what happens. This is like the meme that everyone, the open code team loves the meme about this, where like you have all the money in the world, but you still can't build
finish their work on primary colored buttons.
A tool that doesn't flicker. Oh, and then also like maybe it's a cursor issue, but sometimes when I go to a terminal, I'm like all the way back at the top and I have to scroll down to the bottom. I'm using the $100 a month subscription right now. Yeah, I think this is better. I'm just going to go ahead and commit this. Actually, let me check the theme. Let's go switch to a different project. Let's go change the theme. Looks cool. Uh-oh, what's going on? Okay, yeah, the buttons are working. That's good. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me just go ahead and commit this. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Stop those. All right. I might actually reduce this. I was kind of prototyping on another branch, and like it came up with a really cool idea. I want you to make this a better user experience. I don't need the slider displayed at all times. I just need to see like what the current number of running agents are versus my max. And if you click it, then it can show the slider below it, which allows the user to slide up the max concurrency, and then also have a little description about what the slider even does, so users aren't kind of confused. This is in the top Kanban header, by the way. So I want this to be a button that just shows like agents 0 to 4. You click it, and then the slider kind of shows up in a drop down. Describe the changes you want to make to your backlog. The AI will analyze your current features. I don't know if people use this. Sorry, my head's hiding it. I don't know if people really use this plan mode at the top right. I added this for myself, but I'm trying to like figure out, is this the best place I should be putting this? And is it even useful? Okay, I gotta fix that bug. It's so annoying. I really want to get all this stuff
An
moved.
agent finished their work on data training cutoff date.
Data training cutoff date. What the heck is that? Anyway, here's a refactoring for that. So I can just like change how many max agents I want to be running at the same time. Now, something I do kind of mention is that like, even though we have AI that can help us code super fast, sometimes you're bottlenecked, right? Sometimes you have to sit here and just stare at your UI for a little bit and play around with your UI and try to figure out what's the best user experience, the best developer experience. And that just takes time. I mean, you could ask AI to help do all the user experience research for you. And it's great for doing that for ideation and just get new ideas. But sometimes you just have to slow down and like think about what you're doing, which is fine. You can't just constantly be adding features nonstop, because then your project becomes so confusing to people. Because I've already gotten a lot of feedback saying that Automaker is just it's overwhelming, it's confusing. And so then you'd be like, okay, let's stop adding features. Let's actually make this polished, and let's make sure that's not breaking. Like these buttons over here, I don't know what this one even does. Let me hide my head. Like we have a minimal mode, a standard mode for the buttons, and we have like this one. To me, it's like, why not just show all the data anyway? Like, why not just have this be the default? And then that could just have less buttons for the user to have to look at. Seeing the checklist of to-dos is useful. Seeing the model that was used to code with it, I think is useful. Like, all this information is probably useful. Having a minimal mode, I don't know if this is even necessary. But I'll have to talk to Sharon to see if that's even something that he would want to remove or not. Okay, this is the archived features. Let me ask Super Combo Game or something. Anyway, I'll go back to the chat. It was added in the first versions. If you want to tweak or remove it, go for it. Yeah, so Sharon, my idea is like, let's just make it all be expanded. Like let's just give as much information on the cards. Does that sound good? What mode is that called? That's called detailed. Model tools and tasks. I'm going to go ahead and just take a screenshot of this. I want you to remove the 3 buttons for changing the feature card details. And I want you to default it to always be detailed. Just show as much information in the card and keep that the normal option, and then go through the code base and remove anywhere else where we had like the reduced or the standard detail level. Why did that not? Okay. Cool. Sounds good, Sharon. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Sharon. Hello, guys. How y'all doing? What's up, Jesse? How's it going? Why not do the expand button on the cards themselves and just default it to detailed? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I mean, we already have like a more, but that's just for like this description that honestly, like, you can't read this. It's too much information. The text is so small. But I don't know. I think having less buttons. I mean, let's be honest. Like, this is not this summary information here. Like, you can't even like read it. You have to click this to even read it, which makes me wonder why even display it here in the card. Just have it always just be, you click on summary and it shows you. Same thing with the to-dos. Like, this text is so small. I mean, maybe it's my eyes, but I cannot, like, I literally have to squint to read this. So I wonder if maybe just having buttons to quickly show the summary or show the to-dos would be a better user experience. I'll let that fix up in a second. What do you think of Epic's features user stories in regards to explaining a problem space from high to low level related to Automaker? Perhaps it has a planning mode in the background already. Yeah, I mean, we do have the spec editor. So there is kind of like a planning mode where you create all your features. And then we have a dependency graph. So all the features get set up inside of a dependency graph so it knows what order to go through those features. The whole Epic's features user stories, I don't know. I think that's just like, I don't know if I want to throw Agile, Scrum, bureaucracy into Automaker. Like, what's the problem that it's trying to achieve? You can add categories already to cards. So if I make a feature card, I can add it to a category, and that category could be your Epic. Or it could be, what was the other one? Epics. What happened to my chat? Why are you not using Automaker to make these improvements instead of Claude Code directly? Because when I prompt Automaker, it starts live reloading it, and then it kills all my running agents. So I'd probably have to figure out a way to have the agents run on a separate process so that they don't get killed. But then, like, that's, at that point, we're adding in features to Automaker that don't make sense. Just have a modal open on click of a card to show all the info about it. Hey, what's up, Mari? I mean, yeah, this is also something we want to look into. When you double click a card, it lets you edit it. But then we also have this modal here, which shows you the summary, the logs, it changes the raw. So, yeah, I don't know. We got to figure out a better approach. If you want to work on the UI UX, there's a small bug where when a card is in the waiting for approval state and you try to select text from the agent output summary dialog, it drags the card instead. The Claude Code subscription nerf didn't hit us like OpenCode did. I think it's because we're using the Anthropic Agent SDK, which under the hood uses the Claude Code CLI. So I guess it's fine. I need to go and read their terms of service. Like, is this considered a third-party tool? I'm using their official SDK, and they have documentation that explains how to use it in your apps. So I would assume, why would you give an SDK, have documentation about it, but then say, no, you cannot use your subscription? And even their SDK itself, if you have the Claude Code CLI installed and you have it authenticated, it just works. Like, there was no special logic we had to do to grab your OAuth key and like store it somewhere and then make requests using it. It just knows that you're authenticated and starts using the CLI. So I think we're safe in that aspect, hopefully. I mean, who knows? All right, so when it's waiting for approval in, what'd you say? And you try to select text from the agent output summary. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. I think I could just kick off your exact comment. I'll take your YouTube comment and just paste it in here. I bet you'll fix it. On-bond card detail levels. My UI completely solves all those issues. Get a designer. The whole UI looks vibe coded. Yeah. Probably should. Let's see. How is accessibility in the app, like tabbing, keyboard navigation, etc.? We'd have to double check that. I don't think I've been checking that, honestly. I mean, you can tap to the buttons, tap to new cards. I'd have to go and load up the screen reader to make sure that stuff kind of works. The add feature button's doesn't have a shortcut in it. This used to. Let me go back and fix this. Make sure you add the shortcut for the add feature inside the add feature button at the bottom of the backlog column. It used to have it, now it doesn't. Please fix it. Yeah, I think the UI looks good. I mean, there's only so many ways you can make rectangles on a web page, you know? There's only so much you can do. But we did actually have
finished their work on text selection bug fix.
Text selection bug fix? Okay, let's see if this works now. We did prompt. Oh no, I can still drag it. Let me give it some additional context. This did not fix it. When this modal is open, you should probably be preventing any drag events or do an e-prevent propagation or something, so that when I'm trying to select text inside the dialog, it doesn't try to drag cards underneath. Quick hack for using Automaker to work on Automaker, but not exact. Run Claude from tmux in the Automaker terminal.
An agent finished their work on local command output handling.
Yeah, I think there's ways we could actually get around this. I could just literally build Automaker and run it as like a, Electron build and use that to work on Automaker. Or I could just clone the Automaker directory and have it be somewhere else so that as files are changing, it doesn't actually affect the Automaker app, and I can use it to iterate on Automaker as well. Maybe I should do that because, that would kind of market the purpose of Automaker. Like, why would I not use it to build out my stuff, So maybe I can do that. But yeah, answer your question, I think accessibility needs to be reevaluated because it's not just about being able to tab the stuff. It's about, like, does it make sense from a screen reader?
An agent finished their work on text selection bug fix.
How do you remove technical debt from a project while using agentic coding? I have a couple of projects now with a ton of technical debt and bugs and stuff. You just prompt it. You have to go and spend some time reading through the code, identify where you think there's tech debt. You can even use an agent to go and analyze your code for tech debt and then just have it fix it. Like, you can kick off 10 sub-agents to go and explore your code, find tech debt, find magic numbers, find places where there's duplicate code, and then make a list and have the agents go through and fix it all for you. Cool. The only reason I asked is that I spend most of my time at work doing this stuff lately. Yeah, definitely important to do on your applications. It just came here. Is Claude new rule or not allowing Claude code for anything else affecting? I don't really know. What's up, Patalord? I've asked AI, said I should directly run a DB insert via Drizzle, as I am using Drizzle, but I'm not sure is it okay to do so or not. I'll be honest with you, I can't help you debug over a stream. Like, it's just, I'm not even sure what you're trying to do, honestly. Does Automaker have a revert button like cursor to go back to a certain state of code base? It's all assuming you're using Git. And I do think I have a stash command. Let me check that. If I turn on work trees, maybe I don't have a stash command or revert. I could add like a revert or stash command here so that directly on main, I could just revert all this stuff. That might be useful. All right, dependency graph. I feel like all this stuff we can move to the top header. Like, we don't need this to say Kanban board. It's obvious what this is. Like, why do we need text that says Kanban board? We don't need the project because the project is displayed right here. We know what we have selected. So we could actually remove this stuff, in my opinion, and move up the search bar and move up all this stuff and put it in the top header. Why is this even over here? What is this? Completed features. I feel like this could be co-located here. All right, what are some of the things I prompted? I don't know what I prompted. The button should now display a shortcut. Okay, that one works. The build complete successful. Feature cards are no. Okay, yeah, we're testing out this summary thing. Okay, that's fixed. YOLO. I'm just going to push this one. Sorry if I break tests. The tests are kind of annoying anyway. The one thing I found with testing when it comes to AI now is that, like, the reason we had tests before is because it would take a lot of time for a developer to go and fix broken code. Now it takes one prompt to fix broken code. And so I'm actually starting to reevaluate the value of having tests over your code base. Obviously, as it gets larger, you can't go through and manually test everything. But I can't even start to tell you how many hours, days, and weeks me and my developer team has wasted time trying to fix flaky end-to-end tests, trying to figure out why they pass locally, they fail in GitHub Actions. And then you end up realizing you just spent 4 days trying to fix this test when the thing that you're trying to test could have taken you 2 minutes to go through and manually verify. And so I've always been on the fence about testing. I think it's very important to test the most critical flows of your application. But then sometimes you find yourself just like wasting all this time trying to get a test to pass, and then you read the test and you're like, this doesn't even test anything important. And now AI can fix your bugs in like one prompt. So it's like, I really don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I do think autonomously, if you're one of these things that run autonomously and build out stuff, they need the way to get feedback. So having like test-driven development is good for autonomous agents. But overall, if you're like building out a product and you're rapidly prototyping, testing just kind of slows you down at this point. But I know that's like a bad thing to say. People are very dogmatic about certain things. Wait, why did that just, hold on a second. Oh, there's a little bug. This is great, but it seems like when I double click on the dialog, I'm still able to open up the cards that are underneath the dialog. I need you to prevent that as well. I think I'm on the wrong panel though. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. All right, yeah, I'm going to do what the person recommended. I'm going to try to run Automaker to iterate on Automaker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new terminal. And I'm going to go, probably just git clone
An
Automaker.
agent finished their work on disable double-click card access.
Super hacky approach, but hey, it'll work. By the way, guys, I have a course. If you guys are interested in some of the stuff I learned along the way with agentic coding, I got a course with 82 videos, 2.5 hours of content. I teach Claude Code, Cursor, how to do agentic coding, all the things I've learned along the way. And also we build out a full stack web application using TanStack, Start, Drizzle, and get that all deployed out, Postgres database to Railway. I think it's a great value. So go check it out if you guys are interested. I just want to throw that little plug in while I do a live stream, just to really annoy everyone. But let's go back to what I was doing. I'm trying to run Automaker on a different port. I do think this is set up to try to find new ports if the other ports are already in use. Use different ports. We'll do 3009, 3010. We'll do the web application. Is that talking tool you're using also working when you're Claude Code? Yeah. Super Whisper is like an operating system tool. It's a Mac tool, and I can use it anywhere. Basically, after you talk, it takes what you just said, it puts it on your clipboard, and you pastes it into whatever terminal or input you had open. But yeah, let's just go ahead and open up Automaker. This would be the older version of Automaker, and this is going to get kind of confusing on a stream because we're going to be using... Actually, no, I could use the Electron app. I think it is able to be configured. We'll do Electron. See if this works. Okay, let's go to Automaker. think it is loading up the wrong thing though. Because it still says 10 branch. That's not good. It's fine. We'll figure it out. All right, let's go back and find this API key. All right, so this is running Automaker. I think, let me just check the network request and make sure it's on the right, the hitting, yeah, 3010. Okay, we're good. Okay, that's a little bug. I don't know why that just kicked me out. Honestly, I should probably go back to that temp directory. And then I want to just, what branch am I on? We're on main. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm on the latest. The stuff that we just been adding in. There, we can see those nice changes. There's still a bug with, there's like something going on with the settings. I gotta really fix this, but so now we can actually code using Automaker. I'm gonna open up the Automaker project. Let's go to Workspace, Automaker. I should be able to code directly on Automaker. Notice that I'm on the version 10 branch now, which should be pretty interesting. And then this is the port that's actually running Automaker. Curious why that kicked me off of the login. There's some interesting stuff going on with auth that we definitely need to fix. Like when you refresh the app, it kicks you off. Maybe it's because I have two Automakers running at the same time. Which is weird, that shouldn't happen. Yeah, I know, that'll be something else I have to fix. I don't think this is very important to do on a stream at this point. We were making some good progress, got a little distracted. Fine, let's just go back and get this to be what it used to be. Yeah. Open code with Codex is what the new age agentic professionals use. Everyone's using open code these days. Did you ever go pro? And no, I haven't gone pro in Super Whisper at all. I didn't know they had a pro version. It just works the way it is. So I'm not sure what the point of upgrading it is. They should probably do a better job at like convincing people to upgrade, because it's never prompted me to go pro or anything. I don't even know what features pro would offer. Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because even off stream, you can make much more progress, because when you're streaming, you kind of like have to keep jumping back and forth between chat and yeah, okay. So what I want to do here, I don't want this in here. I'm going to move the search bar. Do a little prompt here. Clear this out. Let's go ahead and stick that whole screenshot. On the Kanban route, I want you to remove the Kanban text and the project text. It's already obvious that we have the project selected. And then I want you to move the search bar and move it to the top bar instead of it being in that lower bar. I might as well just move all these things over too, honestly. Like, let's just see if we can get as much real estate as well. Can you also find a way to just move all these buttons into the top header as well? And then just remove that whole row, because I don't think there's going to be any more buttons inside that row anymore, so we can give more real estate to the actual Kanban view. And I'm going to wait to kick this one off. And we can fix that other bug. Yeah, I can't drag cards underneath now, so I guess it's doing a good job at doing like a prevent defaults now. What is this? Interesting. How quickly can your course get me productive in building real projects? Can I use it with any framework? How fast will the Agentic Jumpstart accelerate my progress? I mean, it's hard to say. How much experience do you have coding with these tools right now? If you have no experience with these tools, like that's the purpose of my course. I've had some people buy my course and they've been coding with these tools for 3 years, and they're like, they're not finding value from the course. And it's like, okay, well, this course is really for people who haven't used these tools before, and they don't even understand how powerful these tools are. And I show you all the different workflows that I have learned along the way. I think it'll accelerate your progress, but there's also a lot of ways you could probably...
An agent finished their work on data training cutoff date.
Yeah, it's just like little things like that, like the hook that plays in the background, like I talk about Claude Code hooks. The fact that you can have multiple terminals working on your same project concurrently. The fact that you could actually kick off work trees and have these be working on isolated work trees, and then make pull requests on that work tree so that you can actually like have AI agents in GitHub review that. Those are all things I talk about in my course. So if those are things that you think you don't know, then the course would be useful. If you feel like you already have an understanding of how these different tips and tricks, you might not get as much value. Like you might not know, I can actually go over here and just like prompt, can you please create a new work tree off of main? And then I want you to build out a new feature that allows people to visualize the memory layer. I want you to show all of the memory related files, and then add a editor very similar to the spec editor. So on the left, on the panel on the left, they could actually click on the file, and on the right, they can preview and edit that file and save that file with an edit button. And this will be a new route added to the tool section. Okay, so that's a really quick example. If you don't know, you can prompt like this. Like I just told Claude, I need you to go and make a new work tree. And I'm also going to say the work tree should be in a .worktrees directory of this working directory. Okay, so let's just go ahead and kick this one off. And you should see it actually create a .worktrees directory. And then it's going to go and clone my entire project and create a git work tree. Okay, right here is adding a work tree. A memory layer feature. Now, if I look over here, we have memory layer feature. It's going to start doing all that work in the work tree. But then my actual progress that I've been doing over here, it's not going to touch it at all. So it's going to do that all in isolation. I can keep on testing whatever flow I'm trying to test right now, which is refactoring the header. And that's kind of like what my course, it's like, that's just one thing that my course teaches. Like there's so much that goes into all these new tools. And it's about this mindset that you can ask these agents to do the busy work that you used to have to do yourself. Like you can literally ask the LM to do it, and it's going to do it for you. I do want to add some padding between these things, so I'm going to go back.
An agent finished their work on local command output handling.
Put a little bit of padding at the top of the Kanban board. Notice how these like the columns are very tightly squeezed to the top header. Okay, so now we've basically removed that whole bar. We have so much more real estate now. I can search over here, timestamps. Okay. I can switch it to the graph view. Looking pretty good. Although the theming here looks pretty bad. That could be a whole nother prompt. Let me just go ahead and take a screenshot of that. It looks terrible. And
An agent finished their work on local command output handling.
This like the what's this called? Dependency graph view. Okay. On the dependency graph view, notice how all the panels are bright white and they do not match my actual theme. Can you make sure that all of the components inside the dependency graph view match my theme of what the user has selected for that project, just like we do on every other component in this application? Okay, I'll kick that one off. I'll say this will be Cloud Code themes. I'll delete this one. This one is working on memory layer. I'll say memory editor. This one was CC add padding. Now, there are extensions that you can use in Cursor for Claude Code. This is like an approach I have found to work best for me. You can always find an approach that works better for you, right? Some people, I've seen people have like 8 terminals open. Like they'll have a grid of terminals. Like basically in Automaker, this is an example. Like you could actually have, you know, split terminals open. And then I could load up Claude Code. Oops, I'm clicking the wrong thing. What am I doing? Let me close these things. Right, so I could actually load up inside of Automaker itself. In fact, what am I doing? Let me go to my settings here. I'm going to make it run Claude Danger when I load up a new terminal. So we're actually going to split this. And it's just going to load up Claude Code for us, right? Anyway, need to work on the terminal a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you could actually just kick off Codex or Claude Code or open code directly inside of Automaker and start. Notice that we're in the actual working directory. So we're in the Agentic Jumpstart directory here. I can actually start kicking stuff off. I don't really do this approach though. I mean, like maybe at some point. Because like, what's the point of making a Kanban board if I have to have terminals? So I'm trying to like make the Kanban board the most important thing. Got the padding. Is this actually changing anything? I got 2 work trees going right now. We could go check out the memory layer after it's done, but I think also, let me go back to Automaker. Now I would have expected that work tree to pop up here. I don't remember if I called it work trees. Yeah, it should be called work trees. That's kind of interesting. There should have been a work tree that popped up for that memory layer. I don't know why it's not showing anymore. I could probably prompt off something to fix that, but I think we're reaching max capacity of my limitations. I don't want to kick off too many things at once. You will hit a bottleneck with your own abilities to do agentic coding. So I think when you do start off, like start with one terminal, prompt it, and then if you find yourself bored because you're waiting for this thing to finish and it's been 5 minutes, that's when you'd be like, okay, well maybe there's something else I could prompt off. And so you'll have 2 things running at the same time. And then you're like, okay, I'm still waiting. I'm finding myself like I'm waiting. You can kick off a 3rd and a 4th. And at some point you'll hit that bottleneck where stuff starts finishing faster than you can go and review it. And then you've kind of reached that bottleneck. And doing and kicking off stuff in a work tree can help with that, because now it's like some work that's put off to the side. You can check it out later and verify it. But looks like this one's actually done. All right, so this one is working on the theme, adding in the search bar. This stuff should all be done now. Yeah, is this the wrong directory? Web, dev Cody, workspace, Automaker. I'll kick off a prompt in a bit to fix that.
An agent finished their work on
Work on what? Yeah, my thing's a little bit buggy. Sometimes it never actually tells me what it finished work on. That definitely didn't apply my theme to these cards. Now it's a canvas, so I might have to refresh it. Maybe that's why. Just do a hard refresh. Go back to the graph view. Oh, I'm gonna take another screenshot. Are you sure you actually did anything? I'm looking at the graph, dependency graph view right now, and I'm still see a bunch of bright white cards, but my theme is set to the yellow theme. Are you sure that you're applying the theme that a user has selected to the actual cards? The cards should look almost identical to how they look on the Kanban view in terms of their theming and styling. Okay, great. I don't know why I just put a D here. Sometimes it's a little buggy. The cards still don't look like they're applying my theme. Notice how the cards are all white, but my theme is currently the yellow. I need the theming to kind of apply like it works on the Kanban board, where based on the user selected project theme, that should be applied to the cards inside of the dependency graph view. All right, I'll kick this one off. Let me do a little... I have work trees here. Can you check if there's a bug? I think there's a bug in work trees. I have a .worktrees directory with one worktree project in it, but when I go to my worktrees panel at the top of the Kanban board and click refresh, I never see that worktree show up. Can you double check that that refresh logic does dive through that worktrees directory to find new worktrees that it might have been created outside of Automaker and add those to whatever internal data structure that tracks worktrees so that they will show up properly in the UI. All right. Now, this one might be a little bit more challenging for Opus to figure out. Like, I don't know how this logic kind of works. Someone else made a pull request for this. It's using a third-party library to basically show some of this stuff. I mean, some of the stuff is built in. But I think the actual, this might be a canvas or something. I don't know. Especially this part. Hey, thanks for the follow. All right, I'm in the stream here in a second. These are the last two prompts I'm going to do. But let's see. What are your 2002? What are your takes on model improvements? I feel like we will get good improvements this year, but I also feel like it might stagnate soon for what humans can notice when coding. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like every couple of months the models get better. I have not seen it stagnate at all. And I think what's going to happen now is we're going to start building more tooling around these models that can literally one prompt features now. For example, like Automaker is what I'm working on. But realistically, if one of these companies like Claude Code or GPT-5 decide to make their own like code editor, like I know that they have their web-based thing, but a lot of this stuff is like geared towards developers who understand what's going on. But like, I don't know, like what is that UI tool that people use? Like Lovable and stuff like that. I feel like if one of these companies just made a Lovable and Claude Code, you have direct access to Claude Code. Like, why would you want to use Lovable at that point? Why would you want to use any of these vibe coding tools? You could just be in the complete Anthropic ecosystem. And then they could set up a system that automatically deploys at your application. Like, you could just have everything just... Anthropic could literally just build everything at this point. And with all the money they probably have, they probably could. But, I mean, I have not tried Ralph yet. It seems very similar to other things I've tried, so I'm not really that interested in it. Can we use a GLM 4.7 coding plan with Automaker? Yeah, I think you just have to set up Claude Code to use GLM. Like there's some environment variables or setting files you have to update and it'll just work. I haven't done it. You can also use open code, and I think they have support for GLM. And I think we may try to add in the z.ai CLI support, which I do believe is the terminal tool that for the GLM company, I think. Yeah, Super Whisper is good. Cloud Code agents working in the background while I'm focusing on another task. Bro, even this, like, here's a cool technique. Before you head off for the day, let's say you have to go run some errands. Kick off like 4 or 5 prompts. Literally, kick off some prompts and come back. Manually check to see if it did the job. You can also run like Opus when you're on your phone. Like you can load up your GitHub repo. You can set up a pull request runner on Opus. Like Claude Code, if you actually go to Claude Code and /type PR, you can set up some GitHub actions that'll run. And so I've even done this. I'll be like sitting in line at fast food. I'll load up GitHub on my GitHub app. I'll go to a project and I'll go to an issue that someone submitted and I'll say, Claude, please fix this. And then it'll go and clone the project. It'll make a pull request and submit that pull request to your repo. And then when you get back home, you can go verify it and just merge it in. So like you have to start realizing there's so many different ways we can fully automate everything. And so like before you
finish their work on worktree refresh bug.
Like before you go to bed, kick off some prompts. Before you head off for the day, kick off prompts. While you're out, you can be kicking off prompts. You can be doing all this type of stuff. Granted, sometimes you do have to be in front of the computer to fix, you know, the issues that Opus can't figure out. But like you have to start thinking in that mindset that like literally you can be kicking off autonomous work all day. Or you could just load up Automaker with like 50 features and just let it run if it wasn't so buggy. Like you can come in here and just load up your Kanban board and say, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and turn on auto mode, which is hidden behind my head. I'm going to turn on auto mode and just let this cook all night while I'm sleeping. Come back and verify some of the stuff, you know? But again, you don't have to do that. You can just sit here and prompt one by one and watch the Claude Code terminal just output stuff. But I think we're slowly reaching a point where it's like, you got to embrace the autonomous nature of these agents because they're that good. Now, honestly, I don't know what I just kicked off. This is the biggest bug. If someone can fix this bug, like every time the server refreshes, it kicks me out. It's so annoying. But I kicked off, oh yeah, the work trees. Why was the work trees not showing up? Let's go to Automaker. Click refresh. Okay, the work tree is not showing up still, so I think I'll have to figure this out off stream because I'm going to end the stream. Probably go hang out with my wife and family and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream.
An agent finished their work on
what? Oh, this is probably the theme thing. I wonder if maybe I have like the wrong port running. Like, you know, I tried to run the other stuff. Like, I'm not seeing changes happen now, so I'm not sure if maybe something's messed up here. Because I see changes to the graph. I mean, I could probably like try to kill this, rerun it. I have a feeling it's like it was a port collision or something. Nope, didn't fix it. Oh well. See, and there are limitations to agentic coding. These models cannot fix everything. You do have to babysit them. You do have to kick off into more powerful models like GPT 5.2. But overall, I mean, if you watch this stream, you saw this is an hour and a 45-minute stream. I've got a lot done so far. So definitely start using these models because they're really awesome. All right, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Have a good day. Happy coding. And go check out agenticjumpstart.com, which is my course. If you guys want an overview of all the things I've been doing along the way with Claude Code and Cursor, I think it's a good value. Hope you guys join in next week. I'll probably stream next week.